am Brandy Ackerley, your favorite Foxywriter. I am an author, a Vtuber, and I stream on Twitch. And I am so excited today! Halloween is just a few days off! What? And of course, I'm wearing my costume again. Oh, for those of you who weren't here last week, how does it look? How does it look? I think I did an amazing job on it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And more importantly, let me know if you will be dressing up. Like, will you be going out? Are you in lockdown? Either way, let me know. Want to know what else I'm super excited about? NaNoWriMo! Oh, seriously, you guys have no idea. Oh, this is pretty much my favorite time of the year. Oh, yes, just because I love writing so much. I normally spend my entire summer, and fall arranging my entire life so that I can essentially spend all of November writing. Which isn't quite what happened this year. Since I, started doing videos and streaming, it's been weird. Anyway, still, so excited for NaNoWriMo! Okay, for those of you not in the know, NaNoWriMo stands for National Novel Writing Month. Despite the name, I think it's been international since its second year, when pretty much they opened it up to anybody rather than just the 21 or 22 people who first tried it that first year. I think it's going into its 22nd year now? I'm pretty certain. I know that I've been doing it for 15 years. But this year, I will not be writing. Sadness. But I will be editing. Which, I will be doing writerly tasks, so I will still be taking part. The only problem is that I don't know how to keep track properly. Normally I can keep, keep track of, words, how many words I write. And I may still be able to do that. But on the other hand, I could also do it with hours, or I could also do it with just, percentage of my book that I've gotten done that day. Count my book as, 100% to being done, and just figure out approximately how much of the book I have left to do. I don't like that. That's not a great option, especially if I'm writing new chapters. Maybe a word count. Maybe a word count will be best. I just don't know. Either way, I am so excited. I want this book to go to my editor ASAP. Okay, let's continue. So, last week in the novel, Kitsune-ken was just ending her first day as an adventurer, but she was finding out that it wasn't really like you imagine when you're reading about it at home. Richard had also discovered that Kitsune-ken avoided talking to her sister at all before they left town, leaving him to joke that maybe they should head to sleep so they could be as far away from the city as they could get before Himiko found somebody to send after them. And now, on with the show. Okay, so let me just bring the book up here. There, perfect. Perfect. Deckard was bending over Tieni, his head lowering to her chest, when someone pounded on his front door, shouting his name. Tieni threw her head back and glared at him when he froze. They both hoped to make up for Kitsune-ken's prior intrusion tonight. The voice yelled again. "Kitsune-ken! I swear if you're in there and you don't open this door, I'll..." Tieni growled as Deckard rolled his eyes and crawled out of the covers. "Deckard, you promised!" He touched Tieni's lips while he grabbed his pants. "It's Himiko. I'll be back in just a minute, I promise. He kissed her hard. She groaned, but fell back onto the bed. Her eyes were still flashing, though. Now, stay here this time. I'll be right back. He was nearly there when Himiko started pounding on the door again, shaking his doorknob so hard he was worried the lock might fall out. He frowned. Lord's daughter or not, she'd been raised better than that. Himiko, give me a moment. This isn't a good time. She stopped pounding, but Deckard nearly felt the waves of frustration rolling off her as he opened the door. Himiko was taller than Kitsune-ken by half a foot, which still made her inches shorter than Deckard. Her hair was a color Tieni called raven, and he called black, and was cut in a wavy style that played around the bottom of her ears. She was more athletic, where Kitsune-ken was all rounded curves. Honestly, the two didn't look much alike, though in annoying traits you'd hardly find a difference. You caught me at a delicate time, Himiko. He stressed the delicate part. Himiko ignored him, straining to see into his house. Where is Kitsune-ken? Not here? Why? Of course she's not here. That's why I am. Oh, I swear, if I have to send Sheriff Dobson after them to bring her back on her heels and arrest that delinquent, I will. He is going to jail for a long time, and Kitsune-ken knows it will be her fault. What are you talking about? Deckard asked. She looked annoyed. Honestly, I thought better of you, but even you've been letting her have her own way. Himiko, your sister is an adult. A chill wind flew through the open door. She's a child, and he took her out of town without my permission and against my wishes. That's kidnapping. Deckard shook his head. Himiko, that isn't how majority works. I'm her matriarch, and I haven't given her my permission. You're her sister, and older by barely a month, Himiko. Well, Himiko was telling the truth. He thought that Kitsune-ken was simply exaggerating like she always did about her sister's behavior. She couldn't expect that her sister would simply accept Himiko's promotion to family matriarch without any trouble, could she? That is hardly the point. She thrust the piece of paper towards him. She's not just inconveniencing my family or our servants now. She's troubling you by staying here, me by having to go through all the trouble of bringing her back, Talbert by... The letter was brief and to the point. Himiko, I am going to go look for treasure with Richard. Deckard should know approximately where we've gone, but don't bother him over this. He's been more than kind in helping me. After I return victorious, I'll contact you about getting my majority day rights given to me, and getting my stuff from the house. I should only be gone a few weeks. Kitsune-ken. P.S. In case you're wondering what happened to the cherry tree dress, I sent it back with Maya days ago. Deckard rubbed his forehead. That wasn't what he'd meant when he told her to tell Himiko she was leaving. But considering how angry she was, he understood Kitsune-ken's underhanded way of carrying out his request. Why do you think that she needs that permission any longer? She turned 21 yesterday. I haven't seen her yet, and I haven't given her permission to become an adult yet, Himiko said. You do know that isn't actually necessary, right? She's 21, regardless of whether she's spoken to you or not. Himiko blinked at him. But it's tradition. I can deny her those rights. That's how this works. Deckard rolled his eyes. Himiko, while I agree that she should have spoken to you, she didn't. And now they've already left. Early this morning, actually. They're probably camping by now, if they've any sense. Regardless, what can you do about it now? The gates are both locked until morning. Himiko didn't answer the question. The only reason I left her with you was because I assumed you'd keep hold of your senses and tell her to come home, sooner rather than later. Deckard put a hand to his forehead. Himiko, she has to grow up sometime. She's left town with someone who can protect her for a few days. I may not think much of this Richard fellow's morals, but I can't say that he's not skilled. He'll see that she stays safe. We'll be lucky if she gets back alive, she growled. Honestly, I thought that you at least wouldn't fall for her foolishness twice. Deckard took a step forward, forcing Himiko out of his doorway before he even realized how angry her accusation had made him. Himiko looked shocked. Good. She had a reason to be mad, but no reason to take out her ire on him. He let out a breath, calming himself as he spoke. Himiko, your sister is gone. Himiko tried to say something, but he raised his voice. She will be back in a week or two, and as much as you want to keep her safe, causing an uproar over this won't help your case. What would your father think of you having to involve the entire city just to discipline your sister? She didn't answer immediately, so he started to close the door. Now go home. Deckard, you know Kitsune-ken can't be trusted to make her own decisions. What was it he'd said to Kitsune-ken a few days ago? That she'd made bad ones. Kitsune-ken had been right. She was never going to learn to make good ones if they didn't let her. If you still can't trust her to start making her own decisions, then when will you? Her lips straightened to a line. Allow her to figure out the consequences for her half-baked ideas on her own. Either way, this isn't my issue. It's between you and your sister, not me. How can you do this? How can you not help? Himiko snarled. Deckard snarled back. Easily. I am a town healer. I'll deal with her when she's injured. Until then, she can take care of herself. You dated her, Himiko shot back, her voice rising. Kitsune-ken is not my girlfriend, Himiko. My girlfriend is waiting for me in my bed. Do whatever you want about your sister. He slammed the door on Himiko's surprised expression and stomped back into the bedroom, stopping only when he saw Tieni. He took a few deep breaths. He had to be calmer than this. He had spent months training to remain calm. A healer couldn't let anger or panic take him. While healing, he had to be calm. But he wasn't healing right now. Deckard, Tieni said his name as if she was asking a question of him. She'd never seen him angry before. Her eyes were wide, but he couldn't read fear in her expression. He shut the bedroom door, flinching when it slammed. He turned to the door, leaning against it. The wood chilled his bare skin. I've had it with their whole family. I don't care anymore, he said. Tieni walked up behind him and wrapped her arms around him. She didn't say anything, didn't try to make it better. Somehow, the simple comfort that she offered him let him heave out a sigh. Turning, he wrapped his arms around her naked body and kissed her. The kiss soothed away his anger, pushing it back into the darkness. He sighed again and set his forehead gently against hers. From now on, you let me answer the door. I'll make sure they know not to bother you unless they're injured, Tieni promised. It wasn't an idle threat. She was almost as tall as he was, and her muscles were toned. She'd been trained to use a sword as well. The calluses on her hand told him that much. I love you. He touched her chin, gently, angling it upward so their lips could meet. She responded easily, kissing him, slowly, sensually, powerfully. With a grin, he picked her up and carried her back to the bed. "Please?" she whispered breathlessly. "Yes." And that's the end. That's the end of this chapter. Let me just put the book down here. Perfect. Perfect. Oh, another racy end to a great chapter. I love the conversation here between Deckard and Himiko. Oh, they don't really get a chance to talk often, but it's a great show for both of their characters. I apparently have a decently good interaction between them in book 3 too. I can say that I don't think I'll have to change that chapter too much to fix it. Anyways, that's it for this week. Please like the video and share it around if you're enjoying the series, and subscribe if you aren't already. Lastly, I want to know what you think about the costume, and I want to know if you'll be taking part in NaNoWriMo this year. Like I said, I'll be editing during it, which isn't great, but I'm hoping that I'll be able to have everything finished before the end of the month. If you're taking part, I want to know what you'll be writing about. Tell me your story. Everyone has a story inside them, and I want to hear about yours. Okay? Okay. Okay, I will see you all next week, okay? Okay.